right around the time I launched this show, September 2020, is when I remember this happening. It was right out. I remember we were still just doing audio, no video on the show. And I couldn't believe you seemed genuinely scared. And I was scared for you. And you got this bad diagnosis. And it was very alarming. So tell us what happened and where you are now.
Well, listen, I'm going to try not to I'm a real big wuss when it comes to this. So I'm going to do my best. There's only two things I can't talk about, which are this and my mother-in-law, because I get choked up. Not that I can't talk about it. I have no problem talking about it. It's hard for me because my entire life I have committed to doing the right thing by the body's a temple, man. God gives you one of them. Don't disrespect it. I party a lot now. I'll drink some during the weekends, but never done drugs. Definitely never done any like hard drugs or anything like that. I haven't even thought about it. I can lecture my kids with a pure heart on that kind of stuff. Work out religiously 6 days a week, cold plunges, sauna. I mean, I got this aura ring on. Everybody goes, why do you wear your wedding ring on the wrong hand sometimes? Because it's not a wedding ring. It's a biosensor ring.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with health. And then I'm grappling one day, and my grappling coach, a jiu-jitsu guy, we did some private lessons because I got tired of, the young kids trying to like beat up the Fox guy. So we're downstairs. He chokes me out pretty good. So, I mean, really good. Like I'm out like stars, I'm like, whoa, what just happened? So the next day I wake up and I'm getting ready to do Fox and Friends. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, whatever. And I'm shaving about 7 o'clock. When you shave your face, you turn your head. And I'm like, what the hell is that lump on my neck? That's kind of weird. I started going back to Instagram and I'm like, gosh, that's been there for a long time. So I never go to doctors. I'm like, no big deal. It's probably a fatty tumor. I got tons of them. But I decide maybe I'll go to when you're on Fox, like everybody wants to help you out, which so you never have to wait for doctors anymore, which is one of the cool things about notoriety. For every one person that drives you crazy in public, 50 people want to help you. So I go to this local doctor's guy, Steve, he's the head and neck surgeon. I said, hey man, I got to pop in. Can you just, feel this thing? Tell me what it is. He's like, amigo, I think we got a problem, but I'm not sure. So I'm not worried about it. I think it's a fatty tumor. He goes, I'm going to get you in the Cleveland Clinic right away. Tomorrow, COVID's going on. So remember, nothing's open. I'm going to get you in there tomorrow and you're going to get an MRI. So the MRI, the oncologist, the radiation oncologist is a Fox guy too. This guy, Todd. He's like, don't even worry. I don't have to read it. I'll go there in live time. I'm like, okay, great. Meets me there. I go in the machine, they roll you in the MRI, big sound. I'm in there 20 minutes, whatever. I come out and my head's in a cage because I can't move because they're looking at my neck. And I look up at Todd and, I said to him, this is where I get all turned up. I every time, because it's just such a life-changing moment. I say to him, I said, Doc, it's a fatty tumor, right? And he says, you need to get dressed and come inside. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what do you mean? So I go inside and there's a little room and he's reading it live. So I don't have to wait, and he's like, a fatty tumor would be gray or white. He says, that's your neck. And I said, well, that's pitch black. And he's like, yeah, it is. I said, what is that? He said, I don't know what it is. I can tell you what it isn't. It isn't a fatty tumor. And I don't know, man. I just lost it. I went out and I got to go. I just had to go. And I walked outside and I got my wife on the phone. I'm in my truck outside. And I said, I have a tumor in my neck. She's like, a fatty tumor, right? I said, no, it's not. It's not a fatty tumor. And I don't think I was devastated. I mean, I couldn't believe it. And, I went up and had it removed. It turned out to be a 7-centimeter cancerous lymphoma tumor in my neck, which is a huge, enormous tumor. And, I write this whole story in my next book. I mean, it's a long chapter, but I think it's the best one because writing it brought back all these memories.
The gift
of failure. That's a hard thing. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. And it didn't, Megyn, it didn't really hit me, any of it, because God forbid this happens to anyone. If it happens, I pray it doesn't happen to anyone listening because it's such a life-changing moment, but it comes at you so fast that, the day before, Megyn Kelly's worried about her interview tomorrow. And then the next day, like, you know how this is, right? You're like, oh my God, am I going to be alive next year? So I'm coming back. Sean Hannity, by the way, helped me out. Sean, if you're watching this show, if someone sends this clip to you, I can't. I probably wouldn't be alive without Sean. I'm not even kidding.
Oh wow.
Sean called probably every doctor in the tri-state.
He's incredibly generous.
Oh my gosh. People have no idea the other side of this guy. None. Zero idea. I had so many doctors calling me. I had to start ignoring their call. He was calling everyone. He gets me up into Sloan Kettering. They cut this massive tumor out of my neck. Thankfully, they don't nick my vocal cords or anything. He gets the whole thing out. And this is a week whirlwind. I never missed a podcast, by the way, which is totally bananas. Like, because I know I'm totally nuts. My wife, I did it from the hotel room. You can go back and look. They're still out there. So I'm coming back on the plane, and you know the look in public. You know, you're famous, right? You know the look when they recognize you, but they don't want to say. You know the look, right? They give you like the nod. Yeah. You know. So I'm getting on the plane, and this guy, we're flying back to Maryland, and this guy next to me to the right gives me the look, the Fox look, like, "Hey, brother," and so he knows when he doesn't say anything. And about halfway through the flight, I start reading about lymphoma, and it says 80% of people with lymphoma will live more than 5 years. Now, if you got cancer, you're probably like, wow, those are great odds, 80%, right? That's not how I read it. I read it as 20% of people are dead in 5 years. And it hit me for the first time, like, holy shit, I could be dead in 5 years. And Megyn, the waterworks, man, I'm not talking about like a little cry like at Gone with the Wind or something. I'm talking about like, I'm like, Paula, just give me like, take your shirt off or something because my face is so.
John Boehner action.
Oh, John Boehner action going. I mean, it's like turn the faucet on. And the guy looks at me, man, and he gives me the nod. Like he knew the story. And he said, I got you. So I thanked that dude in the book. I never met him. He didn't even say anything, but I just thought about the weirdest things going home. It struck me for the first time that I could die. Like, I just thought I was like immortal. I know that's dumb. We all have an expiration date, but I don't want to know what it is.
Yeah,
and I'm driving home to my house, and they're building this movie theater complex near us. And the first thing that came to my mind was, I'm not going to see my youngest daughter ever get out of grammar school or have a boyfriend or anything like that. And I'm not going to, this is like so weird when you think you're going to, the stupid stuff that comes to mind. Like, that's like the most serious thing ever, right? Your daughter. And then it occurred to me next, wow, I'll never see what that movie's going to look like, a movie theater. Like, this is the crazy shit that goes through your head. And it changed my life. So, people ask me now, they say, hey, you're pretty cavalier. You do your own thing on the radio. You got these beefs with all these people. It's because, pardon the language, I give zero fucks. I really don't. I don't care what you say to me. I'm living my life. I'm doing what I think is right. If I fuck it up and it's wrong, I'll fix it. And that's fine. But I'm not taking advice from some dumbass at some company. Oh, you need to say this or be diplomatic about that. I don't need to be diplomatic about shit. I got through that. And let me tell you, my life has never been the same since. Seize the day, man, because you have no idea how many you have left. When you come out of that MRI machine and God forbid someone tells you what that guy told me, you don't give a shit about your guest tomorrow on your podcast. You care about your kids, your life, your dog, your husband, and everything else. And that changes everything for you.
Dan, clean bill of health now?
Yeah, the chemo, unfortunately, is really bad. I had ABVD chemo, and it rips up your heart pretty good. So my heart was never the same. I mean, my HRV score was a hard thing, whatever, but I follow all this stuff. I mean, I went from the higher numbers, the better. I went from like a 60 and a 70. I did CrossFit type stuff. It's like a 12 or a 15 now. So your heart, you're always at risk. And then I've had so many scans, you actually run a risk of getting cancer from the scans. So now I'm at that point in my life. I've been 2 years clean in remission now with this, where you have to start making like devil's bargains. Do you get a scan that could actually give you cancer, or, do you chance it and just hope you'll live? But I'll tell you what, Megyn, you see now you're such a great, my producer Guy's like, gosh, she's so freaking good at this. You're very talented. Now,
I think you're giving me the credit. You're doing all the work.
No. You got to pull it out of people. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it anymore. I don't. And I don't say that with some faux bravado. I'm not chest puffing with you. I don't need to do that. I don't.
But you're living the life you want to live.
Yeah, I'm living the life I want to live. And
it's everything.
I believe in my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And if his mission for me is over soon, then you know what? It's over, man. And I went out and I did it like Frankie Sinatra, man. I did it my way. And that was it. And I'm good with that.
I know many of you make money freelancing or running a solo small business. You probably love the flexibility and control, but hate the crushing busy work. You could hire a bunch of different people, like a CPA, a bookkeeper, even an attorney, and end up paying thousands of dollars a month. Or you could use Collective. Collective is an all-in-one financial solution for freelancers, contractors, and self-employed entrepreneurs. Collective handles all of your corporate formation and compliance paperwork, your taxes, your bookkeeping, your accounting, even your payroll. If you've already made money this year, but you don't have an S-Corp election, right now through June 30th, Collective can save you thousands on taxes in 2023 because they're able to backdate your S-Corp election to January 1st. In fact, Collective members save on average $10,000 per year on taxes. Act before June 30th to save potentially thousands of dollars in 2023 taxes. Go to collective.com to save on taxes this year and have someone who knows what they're doing handle your setup, accounting, bookkeeping, and taxes, even your personal taxes. Collective.com and tell them Megyn Kelly sent me. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.